All right, guys, welcome to tonight's live stream. I know last week we were having a little bit of internet issues and couldn't get that going on. But don't forget, guys, this is a subscribers only race. Now, you can watch the race, but the subscribers are actually had their own little post on Facebook to where that they could vote for who they thought was going to win this race. Now, if they choose right, we're going to give them an NSR car, I believe, is what we're going to give away. So it pays to be a subscriber at Lanes Raceway. If you're not a subscriber, you won't even see the video. But if you do want to be a subscriber, it's $1 a month, and you can click that comment there in the pinned comment section there. T is right now out practicing with her car. Some of the guys are eating, so that's why we're a little bit late here getting started, but they're going to do a little bit of practicing beforehand. They just had a NSR Classic race not even about 5 or 10 minutes ago, and they all got hungry. So that pushed us behind schedule a little bit. We were supposed to start at 7. Here we are a little bit after 7. I don't know exactly what time. Richie Austin says, howdy, partners. Howdy, Richie. How you doing, man? 7:22 right now, so we're a little bit more than just a little bit late. But nonetheless, they are going to be racing. We've been having internet issues, as you guys know. We've been trying to get everything in for our shop and trying to just keep the internet going while doing that. Shipping out and stuff has been put to a stop right now. So if you're trying to get balancers or pin and jigs or anything like that, right now we don't have that up and going. So just bear with us. We're trying to put everything in categories, and the software that we're using is not necessarily quick. I've noticed that. So everything that you put in ends up having a big old loading screen and everything else to try to get it. But we've been working on that, and we've also been working on the Blue King. We've also been working on chairs in the back, painting them up to replace all the chairs here in Lanes Raceway with more cushiony, comfortable chairs. Megan Mizell says, word. And then we've also been working on getting our RC guys pretty comfortable over there next door, as they've been working pretty hard to get an RC group of dudes rolling hard over there. And last night they had a pretty good race there too. Bud Suit says, have you qualified yet? No, right now they're over there eating sandwiches, and kind of feel like cold trickle in the car when they're all eating ice cream on Days of Thunder, because they don't want to race right now. So, I'm just waiting on them, trying to keep my cool, wanting to get this race up and going. But already 120 drop frames. Like I said, guys, we are having internet issues. So if we do drop frames and stuff, just bear with us. Our whole system is getting changed over here at Lanes Raceway, and I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. I was told Wednesday or Thursday, which was yesterday. Here it is Friday. But it's just one of them things. We just dropped some more frames right there. We may not be able to live stream this. I'm not really for sure, but we're going to go as long as we can until it really becomes an issue. Richie Austin says, next you need to add a virtual racer, YouTube racer. Hey, yeah, I mean, we might do something like that possibly. Bud Suit says, okay, good luck to all the racers tonight. Yep, I hope they do well. Let me see right now what we got subscriber-wise on the subscriber video on Facebook to see in the comments who's actually up for a little competition here. Let's see here. So it looks like Jimmy Johnson is rooting for Randy Frost King Kirtley. Brad Hudson is rooting for Bone Sauce Hoagland, and Brad's even in the race. Sean Tigga McCutcheon's rooting for Drew. Stephen Page is rooting for Randy Frost King Kirtley. Mason Travis says, tough choice, going to have to go with Drew. Megan Mizell is also going for Randy Frost King Kirtley. So it could be a huge upset here if Brad ends up bringing it home. Brad's gotten a lot quicker out there on the racetrack, so be excited to see if maybe he can push it a little bit harder and get it going on. He's got a Mosler that turned an 8.8 here the other night, so I don't know if he's going to run that tonight or not, but he said that last night when they raced the GT3 class, he was in the first 4 heats, he was up, and then ended up giving it up to the rest of the guys. Had a little bit of a fall, come apart, but I don't know. It's going to be probably within those three guys. They do the most practicing and the most racing here. I think T's going to get in the race. Drew and Brad, Glenn, and Randy. I'm not for sure about everybody else, but we'll just have to wait and see. Looks like I'm starting to warp out here a little bit. Software's going a little crazy. Dropping 600 frames too is not necessarily a good thing, but hopefully it's not too bad of a viewing experience with you guys right now. Like I said, what had happened with our internet is one of the switches, I guess it's been probably 2 weeks now, right after the snowstorm, we started really having some issues. And one of the switches, I believe, had fiber in it, and we're believing that some fiber is the issue. Like there's a broke fiber or kind of like a separated fiber in our internet, and like when it gets hot and cold and everything, it gets hot, it expands, and then it gets cold, it contracts, and we're having weird internet issues. It's just strange. Richie Austin says Mosler's legal in the GT3 class. Yeah, we allow them in the GT3 class. I will say this, a lot of people would say that the Mazda is like a really stuck car to its own class and everything, but on a flat track, if you're running them like we are, where you're forcing them to run the rubber tires and no foam and no silicone, they kind of compete about the same because they kind of chatter a little bit in the rear end that I've noticed. But anyways, they run pretty close with the other guys. Right now, our fastest car, I believe, is a Mercedes, and they run 8.8s, 8.7s, stuff like that. So, and that's in qualifying. Now, when they're all out there racing and everything, it's a little bit different. Are you just trying to eat up the internet, Drew? Oh, all right. So Richie says, I'll it a C8 and a classics with me then. Yeah, so we run right now. What we're running, Richie, is we're running GT3. We're running the classics, which is like the 917 Porsches, the GT40s, the 908s, the Lolas, all that. That we call that classic. And then we're running Formula One. Now you can have the Formula One Classic, or you can have the Formula One. I think it's 22, 26 car, the newer style. Henry Ronell says, "What's shaking, sir? How long till the race?" Hello, Henry. How you doing, guys? If y'all don't know, Henry, he's the guy that's been really helping us out, getting us a pretty good foothold in our Facebook page. Definitely check him out, guys. He is worth a call for sure. I showed you guys in one of the videos previous week with all his info in it, so check that out. Brad Lynn Hudson says, "My bet is on the Frost King." Hang on a second here. Let's see. Did he have that bet on there for? He can't have both. Let's see what he said. No, Sorry, Brad. Yours is Bone Sauce Hoagland. He's trying to change his guess right before the end. Can't do it. He's already put it in on the comment section. Uh, but nonetheless, we should be getting up here really, really close. T, do you mind getting people's names in? Okay, 3 minutes. All right, so in 3 minutes, T's going to get the names in for qualifying. Don't forget, guys, we are chatting YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch if you guys want to join in on the conversation. Sam Smith says Frost King. Let's see. All right. I do know Sam is a subscriber, so we will make sure to remember that. Make him Isaiah with a loving signs there, I guess hearts. Let's see. David Dorvey, enjoying watching from Florida. Thank you, David. Beautiful, beautiful place to be living in. We got Bone Sauce Hoagland helping out a couple of the kids. They're going to be in the race tonight, too. And they're just practicing with their car. Right now, they got a not a BMW, a Mercedes AMG pink one out there, and then a McLaren silver one out there. he's right now passing out stickers. Some of the cameras and stuff, as you guys can see, are no longer working right now. Uh, it's been a rough few days, but nonetheless, we'll make it through, and we'll get it back up and running. We just have a lot of other stuff that's pressing the hands on the fire currently than the live streams and everything. It looks like the drop frames have kind of stopped there at 600, so maybe we got something going on good here now, and it's kind of locking in a little bit. Right now, on my main computer here that we're streaming on, I've actually got a wireless uh, that is connecting to wireless instead of a wired connection. So usually it's pretty good, but like I said, with this new AI system that's getting put in here and over at Subway, the whole system is a very, very, very tough thing to do, and I think Defense 7's doing an excellent job, especially since this stuff is just now came out on the market. This stuff is super advanced to the point that I'll put it like this: like if we go over, let's say some kind of ruckus happens outside and somebody steals something and takes off in their car, this thing will snapshot license plates, and you can have it set to send it to the sheriff if you need to. Like this stuff is top of the line, crazy stuff. Uh, and now we get alerts like after I leave here at night and everything else. If anybody, which this is not a high crime area, but I mean it's kind of like peace of mind stuff. But after I go home at the end of the night and everything, if somebody was to break in here, it sends an alert and an alarm to my phone and my dad's phone and my brother's phone, waking us up to let us know that somebody's here, and we can also set that to call the police too. So it's pretty cool, all of the stuff that it does, and it uses the cameras that are already here on the tracks and everything else to pick all that kind of stuff up. So getting that all set up and going is going to be really, really good, and I'm hoping that maybe we can maybe tinker with it a little bit, maybe change like a script or something, and possibly get it to follow slot cars when we get a little bit more cameras, because that's also something we're wanting to do in the future is get more camera angles and everything else. I've been getting some Cat 6 and stuff figured up so that we can get some of these cameras put out in various points on our flat track and our Blue King and everything else. Henry says, looks good on my end. Thank you, Henry. All right, kids, bring them in. We got to get these names in. All right. 21K. Drew, Brad, Randy. Where's Glenn? Glenn. Drew, Brad, Randy, Glenn. T, are you racing? Who all's racing? Everybody here but me. Brooks racing? All right. K, or was it C? I can't remember how they spelled the young girl's name. There it is, Kara. And then the boy, Landon. Landon. Is that everybody? 7? All right. Randomized. Tell me when. All right. All right. First up, Randy Frost King Kirtley. Second, Landon. Third, T. Fourth, Drew Bonesauce Hoagland. Fifth, Kara. Sixth, Brad Biscuit Hudson. 7, Glenn Glendis Burden. I'm probably going to glitch in and out of here. For some reason or other, my camera is not wanting to pick me up through the chroma key for some reason. But anyways, it's been off and on this whole time. We also lost 2 of our cameras because I had to run one Cat 6 over for the RC guys, and the other Cat 6 is off of the orange track, and it is. It don't matter, I don't think, unless anybody opposes. I don't care. All right, rental controllers. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. Like Drew, he's got one of the bad to the bone controllers. He still uses a rental. So Jeff Adams says, "Yeah, it looks like you're breakdancing." Yeah, man, I don't know. Let me see if I can scoot a little bit closer up to it. Maybe it'll be forced to pick me up. Here we go. That might have fixed it. Shoot, I don't know. It's like when I sit still for a long time, it just deletes me out of existence, which I guess that's human life in a nutshell. If you stand still long enough, you just eventually just disappear. All right, guys, if you're not racing, please track marshal. Track marshal. T, what are you doing, honey? All right. Well, we got a race to run. Here comes first lap here for Randy Frost King Kirtley. 9.326 so far. 9.304. 9.101. He just keeps beating his records there. And a 0.87. The motor's warming up. 5 seconds remaining. He's got an 0.35, and he's going to come to a stop. 9.035, Randy Frost King Kirtley. Next up, Landon. Landon in a silver McLaren. Now, all of these guys, since we started the series, we don't have AMSCAR rules yet for the GT3 class, but right now they're running the cars open, basically. They can't change the motor, but they can change the gear ratio that comes with it. So we're running 21 through 25K, 25K small block, not big block. Uh, and you can run anywhere in that range with changing the gear ratios and changing a chassis. You can run any tires you want as long as they're not foam or silicone, because silicone tears up the track for our foam racers. So we don't run that. And then we don't run foam because then these cars hook so good that it kind of takes the enjoyment of racing them out. So uh, they just don't want to come out, basically. So keeping the rubber on them. And there's several types of rubber compounds and different, like you can get slick, you can get some with grooves in it, different types of tread, different types of, like I think it's super grip, ultra grip, slicks, non-slicks. All righty, 10.592 for Landon. Next up, T. And guys, I'm going to jump out there and help them track marshal. And I done told him, I said, hey, switches are coming off, and it's going to be, I'll get you your car when I can. So don't wreck. So it should change things up a little bit, hopefully. Car there sounding a little bit grindy. T let a young girl run her car a couple weeks ago, and it's been in several wrecks during that race. So it's definitely seen better days, but she's been a little bit aggressive on the trigger there. Right now, 13.197 for T. 13.197, still the best she's done. Biggest thing I'm seeing here with her driving style is accelerating into the corner instead of waiting until you get into the corner first, and that little snap over is causing the car to come out. A little over accelerating on the exit of the turns will do the same thing. 10.432 T. Next up, Drew Bone Sauce Hoagland, followed by Kara. Lynn says that there's a driver in the car trying to get in the floorboard. Yeah, like I said, that car took several wrecks a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it busted the front grill out of it, busted the wing off of it. The guy's floating in it. I think it was held wide open on the straight stretch on one wreck, so it's in not good condition. And this right here is what a lot of people are rooting for. Drew Bone Sauce Hoagland with his Mercedes. He's coming off there in the camel hump. We'll see Brad Hudson get him put back on. And we'll see if he can hang it in there. Henry Brown says, I noticed your video that you mentioned that you sorted the pinions on the motor. Do y'all have vibration issues doing that? Uh, no, because the pinion and the motor shaft are the same size, but they allot for very, very small amount of sorter to bleed through there. So what you do is you tin the shaft first. I usually sand it a little bit with like 600 grit sandpaper on the shaft, and then I take a little bit of Lucky Bob's flux and put on the shaft, and then I take the sorter and kind of coat the whole shaft all the way around it, and then kind of sling it off the excess, and that tins it. And then I take the sorter pinion and I kind of push it on, and where that sorter's on there, it kind of like holds it into place. And then once you do that, then you just come along with a little bit of flux on the end of that pinion, and don't let it go into the groove of the pinion or the solder or flow into that. But then I just put a little on the tip, heat it up, and it just heats that shaft first, and it slides right over it. You can feel it. It's like it's riding on lubricant, or well, it's technically riding on liquids. And and once you get it to flow really smooth like that, you know that that solder is melted good in there and inside the pinion. And then you just set it to where you want it, and you let it cool, and it holds it perfect. So the flow is pretty even. Oh yeah, it flows super even. Where you get most of your imbalance in the motor is actually the armature. But here lately, what I've noticed, at least with throwaway F-can motors and stuff like that, you'll see that the laminations and stuff on the motor and stuff already come like cut on the laminations for weight purposes to get them back balanced. So they kind of balance them from factory. I'm not saying that they're perfect, but they're definitely good enough for the type of racing that we do here anyway. Now, some of the guys will take it really serious, like strap motors and everything else, and they'll cut on them and everything else to make them perfect. But that's an art form of itself, and there's a lot of smarter people than me out there that do that. I've never actually wound a motor or done any of that. I know my dad did back when you had to, basically. 11.015 Kara. Next up, Brad Hudson, followed by Glenn Burden. I need to just come out with a video on that, showing people how to sort their opinion. I thought I did at one time, but maybe I didn't. But anyways, it's pretty easy once you figure it out. Now, if if you try to do it without flux, it makes it a lot harder. You can do it, but I mean, my dad actually does it. He uses like silver sorter. I like to use plumber sorter that has flux in it, so that helps too. And then when you get done, you just clean it off. I use lighter fluid to clean off the acid and stuff from the flux, and that keeps it from rusting and everything else. Also, whenever you're doing it, you want to tilt the motor at an angle so that it don't roll back in your motor and get everything all up in there, all corroded. And right now we got Brad Hudson. Like I said, he was fast yesterday running his Mosler, but it looks like he's back to his Corvette this time. But this one's really going pretty good too at a 9.246. So he's going to be one that's going to be running up there with everybody else. Brad's deal is constitutional issues. Like he just can't keep that brain in focus whenever it's under pressure right now. But he's getting better every time that he races, and he's already can beat the living tar out of me. He's got a blowed tire or something. I think that they got a tire or something bound up on it, possibly. See Drew there looking at it. Just a piece of dirt on the tire, possibly. Henry says, yeah, it's a bit different than when I raced 110 trucks. This is very cool. Well, thank you, Henry. I hope you can stop by sometime and race with us. I know you've been through here because I would have never met you if you didn't. But yeah, they do have a good time racing these. And he's back on there. Now the car does sound a whole lot better now. It had just a piece of junk on the tire, I guess. These guys do put a lot of lap times in here. 8.945. That's pole Brad Biscuit Hudson. Next up, Glenn Glendis Burden. Right now we're waiting on Glenn. He'll be our final qualifier here, and then we'll get her going on the race. Sean lives. Hey, Sean, how's it going, man? How much is Brad paying you guys to get in the winter picks? Hey, I will say he has just put in the work. He's here almost every night working and practicing with these cars. He loves the NSR class. I would say out of everybody here, Brad loves NSR the most. Now, Drew Hoagland, he's a close second for sure, as Drew's here every night too. They're both helping each other create a more fast car if they possibly can. It seems like every time I talk, I'm making the car stutter. Like I said, we're still having issues here with internet, guys, but we will get it figured out here in the near future. I think we're going to end up running a new fiber cord, possibly. So it's just going to take some time. And I don't want to, you know, fire up our online store and stuff and everything, and then us not have enough internet and everybody have a bad experience. You know, you get one time for first impressions on things, and I definitely want to make sure that when we fire that up, it's perfect. So everybody wanting certain things and everything, I'll try to get to you through PMs and through emails the best that I can, and I might even forget a few of you guys because like I'm dealing with thousands of people, hundreds of them wanting parts, and then other people just wanting to talk, which you know I'm going to talk to those people. Uh, so I get a big, huge list. 9.945 there for Glenn Burden, and that's going to be our final qualifier. Sean Libb says, doing good. Miss you guys, and we'll get back soon, I hope. Yeah, I hope to see you again, Sean. I hope you've been really putting it on them out there and at Windy Hollow and everything. Randy Kirtley out there reaching for something there with a pair of pliers, it looks like. Oh, he's getting a bumper, Sean. I can get it. You guys want to run two races, split it up A main, B main? That way we got track marshals. That's what we'll do then. All right, we'll load these racers up real quick. I'll get you guys on the right display so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just loading the guys up here at the bottom here. This is slot track software if you're a race track enthusiast. And then right here, NSR 21K, that's just what we name it. It's 21K to 25K. But we double click this. That's what they just qualified here, February the 13th. And it shows Brad at the top. So we're going to run our B main first. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 4. Glenn, you're on the bubble. A or B? B? All right, Glenn, where you want to go? On the bubble, guys. We let them choose. We kind of go by Flexi Challenge rules on that. Purple. T, where you want to go? I don't. Okay. Landon, where do you want to go? Blue. Carol, where you want to go? White. All right, Brad, Randy, and Drew, find a track marshaling spot. Live track, no buttons unless riders are in the red zone. All the guys are getting around to their spots, getting their cars hooked up. Going to get the cars on the line. We're going to try to stick with the leader of the race. Now, like I said, I'm down 2 cameras. It's going to be a little bit tough to do so. And now that we are starting, let's just go over the list of people. And of course, I need to scroll back up here for Sam. I'll check him a little bit later, though, for sure. So, Sam, he's going to vote for Frost King. All right, let's go to our Facebook page here. And we got Jimmy Johnson, Randy Kirtley, Frost King. Brad is voting for Drew. Sean's voting for Drew. Steven's voting for Randy. Mason is voting for Drew. And Megan is voting for Randy. So it's almost a even split of the people that are voting for Randy or Drew Bonesauce Hoagland. Now, of course, they're in the A main, so we got to get through the B here first. And right now we see Randy there closest to us in his flannel shirt. That's one of the guys that most people are voting for tonight to win. And on the other end, it's almost like we got a split between these two. Is Drew Bonesauce Hoagland there in the snake pit going to track marshal? He's the other person that everybody seems to be voting for the win. Now, I'm going to get probably around the 4th heat of this race. I'm going to grab what they're going to be racing for. It's going to be an NSR car. They're anywhere from $100 to $140 cars here at Lanes Raceway. So if you guys wanted to come and get involved and race with these guys, we're going to be doing stuff like this on the regular from here on out, supporting our subscribers that support Lanes Raceway. And you know, they help keep the lights burning too. Megan Mizell says, I see my beautiful best friend. I'm guessing you're talking about Miss T out there with her chicken shirt tied around her waist there. Ready? All right. Here we go. 8 vigorous heats here. We're gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try my best to keep track of the cars and who's in the lead here. And pulling out to an early lead there on purple is Glenn Burden. As he goes across the start-finish line there. Right behind him, Glenn's coming off, and blue now in the lead. That's going to be Landon on blue. And Landon coming around there. Landon's still hanging on to the lead there on blue. Right behind him is yellow, and yellow now taking the lead. Yellow is T. We see T coming around here in the horseshoe, and right behind her is white of Kara. And T is still hanging it in there on yellow. I have to say, guys, I'm a little biased and hope that my wife wins. So hopefully she can keep her car on the track and bring home the B main. We're going to see our leader right now just coming out of the 3rd corner here on Snake Pit, and that's T. And Glenn Burden is now moved into 2nd position. He's in the 1st corner of the Snake Pit. T's really smooth behind the trigger. That's what it takes to keep the cars on. She's going to come off here. I say that. You guys know me. I've been doing this for going on 4 years now. Anytime I talk good about a racer, they end up wrecking. Side by side, a battle for the lead. Glenn Burden and T, as they both come into contact, and it looks like T's going to come out of it. Glenn's going to take the worst end of that wreck. T rolling around here to the horseshoe by Randy Kirtley, and she's going to cross around the front start finish line again, hanging on to that lead. Still about 2 corners distance between her and Glenn Burden for the lead in the first round robin, 30 seconds to go. Gets a little bit crooked coming out of the horseshoe here, and she's going to wreck there in the first corner, giving Glenn back the lead. Glenn now on purple lane, rolling around as we see him in the second to last corner, slowing down a little bit right before the horseshoe. T right behind him. Now T within one corner of him, and she's pushing a little bit harder, putting a little pressure there on Glenn Burden for the lead in the B main. 5 seconds remaining, and we're probably going to come to a stop with Glenn in the camel hump. So 1 corner difference between Glenn and T right now for the lead, with a total of 10 laps between them. Best lap of 10.263 for Glenn Burden, followed by T with a 10.881 best lap. But we got some good racing out there. Kara and Landon, and Kara with an 11 lap, 11.74. Her car very fast. I've seen her turn some pretty impressive times before there. Her medians in the 11s are doing pretty good. But right now, Landon and Kara with 9 laps battling out, and Glenn and T with 10. And this just boils down to just a little bit of wrecking taking place, basically, and that's the only reason these guys are kind of separated, because their times are pretty close. So we can see their best times are within 7/10 of a second of each other. Wayne Perry says, how many tracks do you have? How long before the King track is rebraided? Looking forward to meeting you guys. Well, we did a lot of work on it this past week. You can see that the red, the white, and the green lane are a lot brighter than the other lanes. That's because we have coated them and soaked in those lanes. The biggest issue we're having with this track is it wasn't painted all the way through. So what we're having to do is we're having to go in and soak it inside of the track where it was just raw MDF. Instead of letting water soak into it, we let paint soak into it, because then it dries and hardens and doesn't let it bubble. And it also kind of waterproofs it in a weird way. Like if you get a little bit of water on it, it's not going to swell your track, because a lot of the older tracks and stuff, water would get down in the grooves and swell them. And when that happens, you know, you got to cut them down, sand them, and then reroute them and everything. We have noticed there in the first finger, just from it being rebraided and rerouted and ran on for so many years, we might possibly have to go and bondo that whole corner to get it just right. But I will say, you know, this thing will get when it's up and running, it's going to be a top-notch track, guys. So, you know, with patience, we're working on it. We're getting it done. We want it to be just as good as it was back in 2001, to say the least. Like I said, right now, Glenn Burden is on Black Lane. He is still in the lead as he is side by side with Landon there, but he made a pass there on Landon, but Landon is not making it easy. So we see him coming into the horseshoe here. Landon's going to come out, and then on Orange Lane, T picking it back up. She's now dropping back to 2 corners distance between Glenn, and Glenn is really hauling here on Black Lane. Coming into the second corner, now third, into the camel hump here. T has now moved back to 4 corners, so she's going to either have to pick up the pace or she is going to drop behind. But Glenn is really showing you how to run this Black Lane right now. And Glenn Burden, of course, opted to go to the B here, qualifying good enough to go to the A, but he decided he wanted to drop down and race with the B mainers. And looks like he's made a wise decision here. Currently in the lead. Now Kara moving up into second. She is currently, sorry about that. She is currently in second place there on Red Lane. As we see Glenn Burden, our first place guy, right there. Now Kara moving in to about 2 corners distance between Glenn Burden here. And we can see a fast purple lane. Landon, he's trying to push the subject too. He's got a few laps he's going to have to make up, as he is down right now with 7 laps total this heat. And now Glenn Burden still just smooth as butter on blacks. He comes off in the bridge. That is a track call. There is a red line there. You guys can barely see, I'm sure. And they're able to hit the track call over the bridge and under the bridge. It's hard for our track marshals to get to that. And then also on the front stretch. So if you come off, that's the best place to come off. And he did come off there. Now T moving back into second position there on Orange Lane. She's focusing in, and she's about 4 corners down from Glenn Burden. Drew Bout went to go put Glenn back in, but Glenn wiggled her back in there to stay up and get it going on. But yeah, Wayne, I didn't answer the first part of your question there. If you count our RC track, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 tracks. If you count our RC track. And I wish I had the cameras up. Like I said, I'm putting all the cameras and stuff in. I got it going right before we had the race here. So there's a few cameras I don't have up, like the outside cameras, and then our orange camera, our oval camera, and our drag strip cameras. So still working on that. But we have like a miniature orange. We call it tangerine. It was built by Randy Frost King Kirtley in 2001. We have a Tunkel oval, and it's a reverse tri-oval. I might be able to move this picture and you can possibly see it. Yeah, you can see it there. The little green track there. It's reversed to what you would think. Usually the tri-oval part's on the right side of the track, but anyways, it's on the left. Bud Stute says, "Go get him, Glenn." Yeah, Glenn, he's putting it in. Right now, Glenn Burden with a 10.303, very, very, very close 10.305 of T right there with him, fastest lap. Where the brass tacks comes into play, though, is your average laps and your medians, keeping those lower than everybody else is how you're gaining the laps. That means you're not wrecking. So, and we can see Glenn about anywhere from 4 to 5 tenths difference between T, and that's big. Actually, y'all having a little bit of tough time seeing, so let me just bring it over here and y'all can see it a little bit better while we wait this 10 seconds out before we go into our round robin 3 of 8 for our B main. Then our A main will happen, and that is basically where the two guys that are getting the most votes, they're in the A main. Of course they are. So they're going to be battling it out. Drew Bonesauce Hoagland and Randy Frost King Kirtley. And if you guys had posted as a subscriber in the comment section, we are going to get you in a drawing because it looks like we're going to have a pretty big tie between those two. But what an upset it would be if we seen Brad Hudson bring it home. Because like I said, Brad Hudson turning the fastest time in the A main, and he was a force to be reckoned with last night with the Mosler. So if Brad Hudson gets it, nobody's got any votes for him, which I think is not good. I think people should probably be having some votes there on Brad. He's pretty tough, guys. I was racing with him a little bit last night with Drew. We were doing some classic car action, and I can't keep up with him or Drew, and both of them were very, very tough. We did a teammate race last weekend where we raced Formula One cars, and me and Randy Frost King Kirtley just barely took it from him, and the only reason we did that is because Randy Frost King Kirtley is a monster on the track. I wrecked several times, and out of all of us, I did the worst, but Randy Frost King Kirtley did the best, so that helped out a tremendous amount. Glenn Burden currently on Yellow Lane as we see him roll around here on the horseshoe. We're going to follow him. He is our leader, and we can see him bouncing around here coming into some lap track. We see a car go to the outside wall there. I believe that was Landon that popped off there. Here comes Glenn Burden chasing him down through the camel hump here. And his first person that's going to be coming up is our third position, which is T, and it looks like Glenn's going to come off there on the lead on out of the horseshoe. And T and Kara both going to get that nice and beautiful coast. Tyler Conrad says, "Tell T to get it." All right. I will tell her in 8 seconds, Tyler. 5 seconds remaining, and it looks like T's going to come off in the crook of the track there. And I believe Landon's going to be taking a part of that too. Hey, T, Tyler says, get it. Conrad. Huh? That's Blake. What are you talking about? Tyler Conrad. Oh, Blake. Okay. Sorry, Blake. Well, I see his picture now. I can see his picture now. Sorry, Blake. Well, he's got it on here as Tyler, though. So that works. I wasn't wrong. He says get it, though. And Glenn, Bud says, go get him, Glenn. Let me check my headset here. Well, he come in and left, didn't he? Yeah, see, it's not that easy, is it? She goes, who, Tyler? Says, yeah, that's me. I have my name on here, Tyler Conrad. There you go, T. Tara and Landon asked where you was, Blake. I was wanting you to race with them. We got 40 seconds here. Going over to the right display. You can check out those times from the previous. T and Glenn pretty close together. Glenn's got a full lap up on T because T keeps wrecking. So. Yeah, you did. You wrecked right there in the camel hump right at the end. You wrecked twice. I watched it. No, I'm watching them. You know I watch these races. So that's the enjoyment I get out of life. Thank you. All right, all the racers are rolling back. Well, I hope they don't come in here thinking they're going to do something because that wouldn't be good for them. All right, here we go. Glenn Burden on orange coming around. We're going to follow him as he is currently our leader. And right behind him on red is T, one lap down. And we got Greg McClintock in the house, in the building. Glenn Burden coming up into some lap track here. He's going to try to take care of there on blue lane. He's going to take the inside. He's not pushing the subject. Oh, and we're going to see Kara just over accelerate just by a hair there. Glenn's going to go ahead and make that pass. Hello, Greg.
Hey, what's that? I ain't noticed it.
I just live streaming the race here right now. Glenn Burden currently in the lead in the B main. He was on the bubble, dropped down to the B.
What?
He was on the bubble and dropped down to the B. He's gotten a lot smoother with his car, that's for sure. That old Mercedes last week or the week before on new tires kept blowing it off the rim. Did you have a good trip here, Greg?
Do it.
Did you have a good trip here?
Do I have a what?
A good trip here?
I guess so.
Good. Sam Smith says, so does this make you the Michael Waltrip of slot car? I don't know. I guess it just makes me somebody that likes watching slot car races. I don't know. I've always liked just sitting and watching them race, and I've always had a pretty good gift of watching them and keeping track of them. Most people that come in and watch a slot car race, it's just a bunch of fast cars going around in a track. But I try to always follow the leader, and it kind of makes me feel like I am racing, because whenever the leader starts wrecking a few times and they could be a couple laps up, like we see Glenn here now, 2 laps up on T. But if that's just a couple wrecks and T's right there on him. And if you're following the leader, you can see him fall apart. You can see him kind of pull it back and hang it in there just by a hair. I mean, all that stuff's very entertaining to me. And especially on some of the faster cars that really, really hook up and we got a lot of glue down and they don't hardly make any mistakes. It really, really is close. Usually about the top 4 to 5 guys are on the same lap throughout the whole race, and they're just waiting on one person to overdo a corner by a hair, and that's when it gets exciting to me. But at the same time, I can understand a lot of people seeing it, and it's just a bunch of blurs going by. These cars are actually quite easy to follow. And not very taxing on the internet connection either, because we're swapping through these cameras to follow the leader. These are running 10-second laps. If we were following the Flexi Challenge cars. Those dudes are doing like sub 4 laps, sub 4 second laps. So it's a lot quicker. 25 seconds ago. Richard Satter says, "Are the NSR cars competitive straight out of the box?" You're looking at them. Right now, not a single person has bought a part to make their cars other than stock uh, out of the box, other than a wooden guide flag they put on them, and they've changed some of the people changed their tires from super grips to ultra grips. Other than that, these things are stock out of the box. And they're very competitive, and I think they're very enjoyable, especially on a flat track. Now this is a 124 scale commercial track here, of course, but you can also run these cars on it. They're still 12-volt systems, and it's analog cars, so they do quite well, to say the least. Here comes your leader right now on white, Glenn Burden around the horseshoe here, and we're going to follow him as we get a little wreck there in the camel hump here. And he's coming up on some lap traffic here of the green lane. That's T, his arch nemesis currently right now in second position. She keeps giving up just a little bit of time. But something I have noticed, Richard, if you're looking to get an NSR car, is the faster of the cars that I've noticed is in the GT3 at least, are your Mercedes and your C8 Corvettes. They tend to be the most consistently quicker of the bunch. Um, we allow Moslers here, and they're quick too. But overall, the Mercedes. Oh, Glenn Burden giving a shunt to T, currently in second position. He just had enough of being behind her and broke her rear bumper, it looked like. So a little bit of wildness going on out there. But hey, it happens. That's racing. But yeah, those are the two cars, especially starting out, I would be looking into, unless your club runs the classic NSRs. The classic NSRs, of course, right now, I believe the Lola without the rear fairing is the fastest of the classic cars. And then the 10K, also on this track at least, is very, very quick. And that's the Porsche 10K. Because it is just hooked up going around the corners, where that you don't have that hookup power as much with the Lola, but the Lola has the cutout lightweight chassis from NSR, and that does make a big difference weight-wise. But I do see a lot of the guys and gals running weight in the cars in different series and stuff. None of our guys have yet tried that. Now they're open to do it. Like I said, it's open right now. NSR parts here at Lanes Raceway. They just can't swap the motors in them. But nobody's really tried. They've just all kept their cars equal because they like racing competitively. But we can take a look here at the right display here, Richard, and we can see that your fastest lap's at 10.204, and the slowest lap's at 10.636. And I would say that just boils down to how much consistency the person's raced here at Lanes Raceway. Because we can go here and look at the averages. The fastest average, Glenn, who qualified the top in the B main, could have went to the A, but he chose to go to the B. He's at a 10.665. And then we see T at a 11.2, 11.3, and 11.8. So they're very, very consistent. It just really depends on the driver. The fastest out of the box, now, of course, they take tire tools and they turn their tires up so they don't drag on the track, and the guys can hootie the tires and make them true and glue them and stuff like that. That's all stock related type work. Um, when you get one all set up and with the wood guide flag and it's set up for the track, these cars can turn 8.8s, 8.7s. And that's what we're seeing Drew and Brad and Randy run here a lot of the time on the track. Now, granted, our track was freshly spray glued about 3-4 weeks ago, and it's done quite well. Now it's getting a little bit dry, so we're not going to be turning faster than 8.8s right now until we go to clean it and do that again, which that's going to be a couple months off. So we usually clean it about once every 2.5, 3 months. Sam Smith says the 997 and the C8 are the faster ones at my track. So see, the C8's even fast at Sam's track. Like I said, C8's really tough to beat. I think Richie Austin even said that the C8's unreal. Blue Water Slot Car Racing, nice job narrating. It helps the video. Thank you. Right now we got a wreck there off of what looked to be green lane, but it was actually blue. So blue lane. And Glenn Burden's still leading the way as he comes around here to the horseshoe. And we're going to follow him as he's been our leader all race long except for the first heat. We've seen T in the lead here. And we're just following along that red lane there. That's the inside lane coming into the back portion of the track there, except for the horseshoe. And we see Glenn Burden coming up on black lane of Kara. Kara has a very fast Mercedes, and we're going to see her car come off there as Glenn put a little bit of pressure there. Kara and Landon, they come out throughout the week and race here, get some track time and race and put around here on the tracks, and they've progressively gotten faster. Really impressed with Landon last week, bringing home a win. We seen him on the podium. It was good to see him there. He's got a silver McLaren, and it's pretty sharp out of the box. I think it was like $80. So, these cars are not overly expensive, but some of these special edition ones can get up there in price. I've seen some of them at like $139. As we see our leader wreck there, Drew Bonesauce Hogan's going to get him slapped into the track, and we also know Drew's coming up next in the A main. We're on round robin 6 of 8, 3/4 of the way through on this race, and Drew Hoagland's going to be up next. So, like I said, stay tuned for that, as a lot of our subscribers are riding on that Drew is going to bring it home, and about the other half are hoping that Randy Frost King Kirtley there in the red flannel is going to bring it home. So either way you look at it, one of our subscribers is going to give us their address, and we are going to ship them an NSR car free of charge if they guess right. But we're also going to have to fire up a Google randomizer, because several people voted for Randy and several people voted for Drew. So all those people that did vote for Drew, if he wins it, I think it's like 3 or 4 people, we're going to put their names in a randomizer. I'll just give them a number just for simplicity's sake, and we'll say their name and their number on the live, and then we'll roll it, and whoever gets it gets it. Same way if it's for Randy taking home the win too. So I got a nice little builder's kit for an NSR over there. I think they'll really appreciate. And speaking of Sam Smith there with the 997, might send out a Porsche. Of course, us Kirtleys were big Porsche fans, and Kirtley semi-German, semi-English, I guess you would say. So maybe a little bit of Irish. I don't know. My dad says that we got Irish, German, and English. So that's all I know in our blood. So, but I'll tell you this much: I do love German engineering when it comes to cars, even more so than U.S. manufactured cars. But here lately, I will say the U.S. has definitely made a resurgence, at least in the past 15, 20 years, when it comes to muscle cars. You got your choice of some bad to the bone cars with high horsepower, whether you like Dodge, Chevy, or Ford for that matter. I actually had a 2017 Mustang GT, sold it to Open Lanes Raceway. But man, I had a blast in that car. It was a great time. Uh, but yeah, I'm a big fan of BMW, big fan of Mercedes, and a super fan of Porsche my whole life. If I could have one car, it would be the 911. Uh, I can't remember the exact year, but it was the one that was in Bad Boys. That thing is sick. The very first Bad Boys, the black one. But I used to draw that car all the time when I was a kid. Back when I was a kid, they used to have books that you could just draw cars. And there was a Lamborghini Countach in it. There was a Hummer in one, a Porsche, a Ferrari Testarossa. Like, these were the cars that we had on our walls when we were kids. The F40, I remember when that car came out, and that car is still bad to the bone to this day. But out of all the Ferraris, I would have to probably say the 308 GTB was probably my favorite. That thing was just sweet looking. But anyways, back to slot car racing. On green lane, we got Glenn Burden, your leader, as he's fixing to be coming around here. You see him coming around the third to last now on the horseshoes. We're going to follow him around. Got a little bit of wreck here in front of Glenn on purple. That's T, your second position right now. And he's reeling her in about a corner length between the two. So they come into the first corner here, now into the second. And T's holding him off. She's done pretty good today, but she's got herself into a few wrecks. Her car's not in the best condition, and she seems to be losing about 2 car lengths per lap here to Glenn Burden as he finally makes the pass there in turn 3. We had her car set up pretty good. It had a wing on it. The driver wasn't just rattling around in the car and had a front clip on it, but she allowed one of the younger girls to get started. And anyways, that car got destroyed, which is fine. We got plenty of cars here, and it's good to see other younger girls get involved and race. And I was pleasantly surprised with the younger girl how well she actually did. She just had a few times where she just lost track of her car and drove it straight into the wall in turn 1. Speaking of turn 1, Glenn's coming around there, and we had a little bit of a wreck there with Kara, but he's going to make it through just fine as he comes in through the horseshoe on the back or front stretch here. And he's reeling in another one there. Red Lane of Landon there in his 720S silver car. And they are a corner away from each other now. And Landon's trying to keep it. We see our leader, Glenn Burden, coming off. Drew Bonesauce Hoagland getting him slapped back in there on green. And that is going to be a lane rotation yet again. Glenn Burden hanging on to that lead. And Glenn is pulling away from everybody else with 77 total laps, 74 for T. We're going to swap over here to the right display. We can see our total laps right now. Glenn Burden was 77, T was 74, Landon was 71, and 68 for Kara. Fastest lap time that previous heat, though, is going to go to Landon got 83. Thank you there, Richard, for letting us know that the sound went out. Glenn Burton's going to bring it home, guys, in the B main. We still got the A main left to go, and that is the main event coming up next. They're getting their pictures now made over at the podium, but Glenn Burton with 88, T with 83, Landon with 81, and Kara with 77 in the B main. All of these guys and gals fought valiantly to bring it home, and Glenn Burton with 88 laps. So Glenn and T still have, and Landon all still have a chance to be top three in the next one too, if the A-mainers can't turn more laps than that. But I will assure you guys, these A-main guys are turning fast laps in the eights, so we're probably not going to see that happen with these three guys coming up next. Speaking of coming up next, we're going to go ahead and get this race shut down and start up the next one for our A-main racers. And just like before, we're going to drop all these names out. And we're going to put Brad Hudson first. Brad, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Blue? Frost King, where you want to go? Green? And Bone Sauce, where you want to go? Drew, where you want to go? Nay. Purple? All right, Glenn, T, Landon, and Kara, find a place on the track to track, Marshall. I can. Greg, you want to race? You want to race with them?
No, I'm just testing and tuning.
Just going to test and tune, you sure?
Yeah.
I can throw you in right now.
Yeah, I don't even know if my controller's still working. I haven't even tried it yet. Doesn't sound real good.
Well, all the other tracks are on, Greg, so you can test and tune to your heart's content.
Yeah, I just was wanting to mess around with that NSR car a little bit.
Well, that's what they're racing right now. Last call, Greg. If you want me to put you in, I can get you in.
I better wait.
All right. I'll let you wait then. All right, guys. Greg's going to wait. He's going to do some testing and tuning. All right. Frost King on green. Biscuit on blue. Bone Sauce on purple. And it all boils down to this, guys, just a quick reiteration, because you guys can't see this unless you are subscribed to us on Facebook. So I'm going to go over the names here. Jimmy Johnson in for Randy Frost King Kirtley. Brad Hudson in for Bone Sauce Hoagland. Sean Robert McCutcheon in for Drew Bone Sauce Hoagland. Mason Travis in for Drew Bone Sauce Hoagland. Stephen Page in for Randy Frost King Kirtley. Megan Mizell in for Randy Frost King Kirtley. And Sam, let me see. I can't remember who Sam was in for. I think he was in for Frost King too. And Sam is in for the Frost King. So I need to write that down right now while I got a chance here. I could swear I had a pencil over here. Yeah, that'll work. Frost King. And that is going to be Sam. And they started the race really quick there. So let me get over here to watching the race to see who's in the lead. And it looks like Drew Bone Sauce Hoagland right now is currently in the lead. We're going to follow him as he's coming around there on purple lane and across the start-finish line. And we've seen a wreck there on blue. That was Brad Hudson. Drew Bone Sauce Hoagland crossing the line yet again there with 4 laps. But we see Brad Hudson right there on his heels. Like I said, these guys are very impressive in their techniques of holding these cars. Now, none of these guys are running silicone tires or foam tires. These are run on the rubber tires that these cars come with, guys. And they're turning these times on a flat track. And by the way, guys, this is, and Drew Bone Sauce Hoagland, your leader coming off. That's going to give some leeway to Randy now, just 1 corner different between Drew Bone Sauce Hoagland. These braid on this track also, just to let you guys know, is copper. So there is no benefit when it comes to magnets on the cars. If anything, it probably slows them down. Drew Bonesauce Hoagland off in the third corner. Or no, that's Brad Hudson off in the third corner. Drew Bonesauce Hoagland now into the first, second, and third corner here. Still hanging on to that lead. Randy Frost King Kirtley close behind him there in the orange Corvette. Only 2 corners behind the Bonesauce. He's finally got that car dialed in, and he's got her smoking fast. 5 seconds remaining in the first heat, and Drew Bonesauce Hoagland is going to come into underneath the bridge. Drew Bonesauce Hoagland holding it down in the lead, but let's take a look here at the right display, and we can see those fast times. Brad Hudson turning an impressive 8.926 fastest lap time. Very close between Drew and Randy with a 9.063 and a 9.049. Some very, very tight racing here, as you guys can see. Median-wise, we're seeing Drew Bonesauce Hoagland there with a 9.274. His average lap there in conjunction, or in you know what I'm saying. Median lap and average lap there, 9.5, 9.2 is what's put him out currently in the segment lead. So if he keeps this up, it's going to be hard for people to get him, but very, very close. Randy Frost King Kirtley, as we take a look here, we can see him working on his car right there where the lap counter is. And Drew is actually in the camel hump just right in front of him by the bridge. He ended up wrecking right there at the end. And then right here on the front stretch, coming out into the lead on right past the horseshoe, is Brad Hudson, about a half lap down from the guys. But all of these guys are very, very close. And let's see here real quick, and I'll don't forget, guys, chat is live, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And we can go all the way up here to our very first comment, and we can see here, become a member of Lane's Raceway today for exclusive benefits, including member discounts, exclusive live videos, and badges that only members have. If you click this little bitty link right here and you fill that out, you can become a member of Lane's Raceway. It is $1 a month, guys. Helps out a tremendous amount, and that's what this race is all about tonight. We are racing for our subscribers on Facebook, and because of those subscribers is the reason why I can afford to give them a NSR car for who they choose to be the winner here tonight at Lane's Raceway. And we're going to continue to do this at least once a month. If we get more subscribers, we might do it bi-weekly. But nonetheless, I think it's a good way to give back to the racing community. And pretty much all of our subscribers are slot car racers anyway, so now they'll get them an extra car for being a subscriber here at Lane's Raceway. We hope to increase those subscriber counts in the future. Right now, Drew Bonesauce Hoagland is still in the lead as we follow him coming around there on Black Lane, holding it down tight in the Petronas Mercedes. He's had this car since the very first NSR race here at Lane's Raceway, and I'll tell you what, it has been nothing but non-stop, unstoppable for at least 3 months now. And he really got his footing a couple months back when a few of the guys from the AMSCO group come down and showed him a few tips and tricks. And ever since then, this car's been turning 9s and 8s. So very, very impressive. If you guys don't know, the AMSCO group guys are the ones making great rule sets and stuff right now. Not yet published, guys, but they are making rule sets and stuff for the U.S. when it comes to these 1/32 NSR scale auto cars, etc. So definitely keep your eyes out for that and follow them on their Facebook page, as we're trying to encourage that to be a national standard if possible, you know, because what makes national standards great, especially when you're a track owner, is you ain't got to make up rules. Those national standards make up the rules, and we just follow them. So something I've learned just running a track to the public in the past 4 years is making up rules is for the birds, fellas. If you're trying to make up house rules, let me just go ahead and tell you, don't. lean on somebody else. USRA, ISRA rules or something, yeah, learn them and then just implement them. So if you make up your own rules and let's say you left something out and somebody found a way to cheat, then what happens is they'll lean that on you, and then you have to make a dynamic change, let's just put it that way, and then everybody's upset. So always lean on national groups for your rule sets. Save yourself the headaches, and keep a cleaner run track. But hey, that's how you learn. You make mistakes and then you learn from them. Danny Sanders says, great group of guys. Yes, we do have a great group of guys. I really do enjoy our racers here. Randy Frost King Kirtley there done took the flannel off. Racing's getting hot. Racing's getting heavy. When that flannel comes off, the frost comes out. We see Brad Hudson there. Just mentioned a while ago that he had a blew a tire off of his car. We can see Brad Hudson there still turning pretty impressive lap time there with a 8.992. Tying Drew Bonesauce Hoagland for the fast time there. Actually, second fastest time. 8.849 was the fastest time for Randy Frost King Kirtley. And I reiterate, guys, these guys are not running silicone. They are not running foam on these. They are running stock rubber tires on this track. And it is a flat track here at Lanes Raceway, predominantly for flexi style 124 scale racing is what we mostly run on it. And we just started racing these 132nds and they work great. So if you have a flat track and you run predominantly flexi stuff, just let the guys know, hey, they run great. It's up to you whether or not you allow them to run foam or allow them to run silicone. But I would step away from the silicone unless you're only going to run NSR cars on it. Silicone tends to make it where other stuff don't grip, but it just depends on your slot car track. And predominantly our guys want to practice for, like USRA, ISRA events and, like the Flexi Challenge events and things like that we follow. Our guys take it pretty serious around here. All right. So Drew Bonesauce Hoagland right now coming around the camel hump here. We're going to start following him. He is still our leader here and still holding on strong as he goes across the start-finish line. We see a car coming off there. And right on the inside, that's Randy Kirtley on purple, currently in second position here. As he's holding Drew off, and he comes off, and Drew narrowly misses him there on the third corner of the camel hump. And Drew is racing like his life depends on it tonight. He's got that nice back and forth wobble there on the driver's stand like he's playing old school Nintendo. And his car is going to come off there. He probably listening to me, getting him out of focus there a little bit. It's like I told you guys, anytime I talk good about a racer, they end up falling apart. So, but I can't help it. I like to talk good about the guys when they're doing good, and I don't hold back when they're doing bad either. But him and Randy Kirtley there, almost a full lap now up on Randy Kirtley as he goes to try to get him again here. And he's reeling him in a little bit, Randy there in his orange Corvette. We don't usually see the orange Corvette come out very often, but he's got her back out. We have been seeing Randy run a Mobil 1 GT3 Mercedes here lately. And he's gotten pretty smooth with it, but it looks like today he's going to rely on Old Faithful, the orange. We usually see the Silver Bullet when he's in direct competition with Drew Bonesauce Hoagland, but the Silver Bullet is nowhere to be found currently, and they're staying within a corner of each other. Both of these guys racing their heart out for sure and keeping that distance from one another. And they just can't seem to make the push together to see Drew get it. Maybe Drew is just holding back. I don't know. But we see a nice coast there at the end for Drew Bonesauce Hoagland there off yellow lane to creep up just a hair on Randy there on purple. We're going to head over to the right display. Fastest lap time that previous heat was a 9.018. What a scorcher there for Drew Bonesauce Hoagland on yellow. Like I said, we've been seeing 8s and 9s here all race long, and he was about 2/10 higher than Brad on that one, almost 3, and just about a 10th difference between him and Randy Kirtley. Now, when we're looking at median times, though, we see a 9.234 and a 9.206. Randy was getting him on the median, so he was turning progressively, on average, better laps than Drew. But Drew was able to capitalize on the fast faster lap, and that increases his average lap. So his average lap at a 9.548, and this is why Drew has been holding on to that lead, because Randy was not capitalized on average with a 9.871. When you're literally nitpicking between median and average laps, that's how close this is between these guys in the A main, and that's why I like to keep it on average lap, median lap, because the median does tell the overall story of the average, but an average lap tells, I guess, you more of a sector type feel of how these guys are running their cars. So it gives you that beautiful three-way mixture of what the fast laps they are turning and those averages to speak of. Right now, total laps 38 for Drew Bonesauce Hoagland, 37 for Randy Frost King Kirtley, and 32 for Brad Biscuit Hudson. He told me, he says, it's not biscuits, it's biscuit. So I need to make sure that I get that right. Brad Biscuit Hudson. I like to give the guys nicknames, and hey, Brad gave his own. Really, he said, "I'll just be biscuits," So, or maybe T gave it to him. I don't know. Somebody gave it to him, but it's been sticking, nonetheless. All right, let's get back on to our leaders here. And we can see Drew Bonesauce Hoagland right now creeping up on Randy Frost King Curley. If he makes this pass, he'll put Randy one lap down, and we're going to see that take place. Now, Drew Bonesauce Hoagland there, about a corner up on Randy plus a lap. As long as Drew stays smooth like he is right now, he's got it in the bag, and we will take all those names of those that were rooting for Drew Bonesauce Hoagland. We'll put them in a random generator here live on the live stream, and we'll run a little randomized generator off of Google, and we'll see who our winner is. And then if you are the winner, and having a little trouble there, Glenn getting Drew back in, that costed Drew now about a corner on Randy, putting Randy back into contention here. As he's got about a quarter to a half lap now up on Drew. Drew's going to have to smooth it up and stay in the lead here as Brad's starting to catch him to gain a lap back. 1 minute remaining in this heat. Drew Bonesauce Hoagland coming off the lead on to the front start stretch there into the snake pit. Still holding pretty consistent laps here, as we can see. 9.179 for Drew. Brad coming off there, losing Drew, our leader, but he's coming up now back onto the lead on. He is rolling, folks. Fastest lap this time is Brad, though, with an 8.884. Like I said, Brad is flying. If he could just keep the car on and run those consecutively, he would be untouchable, to say the least. We do have a good group of A-main racers here, as you guys can tell. And we got another car coming off, and that's going to hold up Brad a little bit there as Randy Frost King Kirtley gets held up. But our leader not going to hold him up, as we can see him now coming off side by side yet again with Brad. And we're going to get a rotation. That is our halfway mark too, folks. And we're going to go over to the right display. 8.884 for Brad Hudson for the best lap time. Whew, he was smoking out there. And our medians here, we can see everybody in the nines, only about 0.2 different from top to bottom. Randy Kirtley on the median top end there with a 9.172 fastest. And we can see on our average laps, that's where we get a little bit of a skew here to see who's been wrecking and who wasn't. So we see Brad there with a couple wrecks. We can see that pretty much everybody had a wreck or two. Drew suffering a huge wreck there. That one wreck he had there, whenever Glenn couldn't get him put back in, that dropped him to a 9.620, about a tenth off from Randy. But that actually helped Randy a little bit, and now we can see just 1 lap difference between those two. And we still got that battle going on, 49 and 50 laps between the two. So it's going to boil down to the wire here, and that 1 lap could be chewed up and ate up in a heartbeat. As you guys know, any kind of race can turn on its head, especially whenever there's only 1 lap separating the guys. Looks like our frames per second have leveled out here, and we're now in the green when it comes to the RTMP of our live stream here. We were in the yellow at the very beginning, which was kind of questionable whether or not this was going to work out well, but blessed to say, thank the good Lord above and my brother for putting in some hard work here and setting up this whole system. Like I said, guys, we are trying to get a shop going here. We also got an AI system, ubiquity type system he's setting up in here, and it's creepy, man. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the latest Mission Impossible, but you know, like the little diagram they have. Well, I guess it was the previous one, not the latest one, but the one before it. But they had the little diagram of the AI, and it was like all kinds of dots, and they were like weaving in and out of each other. Like this thing literally has that. It's creepy. It has it on like one of the switches in the shop. This thing can pick out people's faces. It can do all kinds of stuff. It is on another level, man, of strange. Nonetheless, less talking about that, more talking about things I know. Slot car racing, we're back in it. Drew Hoagland, your leader on white, leading the pack right now. As we can see, right behind him is Brad Hudson, and then following very close in tow is the Frost King himself, Randy Frost King Curley. Brad Hudson taking an inside corner there, causing Drew to come off. Drew still in the lead by a lap there on Randy, but that gives Randy a little bit of leeway, a little bit of chatter coming off on the lead on from Randy's orange car, and we see Drew passing Brad Hudson. We got an issue there, possibly with Brad Hudson, blowed tire, possibly, as he's rolling around here. Yep, Brad Hudson does have a blowed tire. He's fixing it right now. You can see it in his hand on the front stretch. He's going to get that fixed. Drew Hoagland and Randy Kirtley within a one-lap corner of each other. Randy Kirtley in the orange car, and Drew Bonesauce Hoagland there in the silver and blue Petronas. As we see now Randy stretching it out a little bit, getting his legs out there a little bit on yellow, gaining a little bit on Drew, now pushing him back 2 corners as we can see here, rolling around through the camel hump. And Drew Bonesauce Hoagland, man, what a competitor here. He's just minding his own. It's almost like he knows, hey, I can kind of back off a little bit here and I'll push the subject here on white, a more controlling lane of the two. So as we see him, Randy Kirtley now coming off, and Drew able to make the pass. That consistency of just holding back has paid off. So we see Brad Hudson off into camel hump, almost caused a wreck, but T got it just in the nick of time. Now we see all 3 of the guys line back up just like at the very beginning of this heat with 10 seconds remaining. We see Brad Hudson making a move here on Drew Bonesauce Hoagland, and he's going to get it going on to the lead on into the final 2 seconds here, and a wreck to the outside wall. Drew Bonesauce Hoagland coming off right at the end, side by side with Randy. No lost love there between those two. Now just 1 lap separating them. Randy's going to have to make that lap up in the next few heats, or all hope is lost. Drew Bonesauce Hoagland with 63 total laps, 62 for Randy Frost King Kirtley, 55 for Brad Biscuit Hudson. Brad has consecutively been turning 8.8s and 8.9s all race long, but just having some issues keeping the car on. And then, as we can see with his average lap time there, having a blowed tire out that time caused his average laps to plummet to the ground. But we can still see his medians are right there with Randy and Drew. As we can see, Randy Frost King Kirtley with a 9.286 and a 9.276 for Drew Bonesauce Hoagland. But who was the fastest in the median time? Brad Hudson with a 9.261. So if Brad can just keep his tires on his car and not have huge incidents, Brad's got it in the bag here. You're looking at 3 to 4 tenths difference in his times, fast time, versus Drew and Randy both. But hey, racing's a whole race, not just who could turn the fastest lap one time. It's all about consistency. Consistency is key, keeping that mind from wandering and keeping the fear out of the head, as hard as you can. Until that heart starts beating again. Drop frames just then, guys. I hope y'all felt that hiccup, because I sure did. But nonetheless, you want to keep pressuring yourself so that each time that you pressure yourself, it's less and less to the point that you can end up racing like Frost King Kirtley and Drew Bonesauce Hoagland here, where nothing really affects them all that much. And we're back racing here yet again. Drew Hoagland, your leader, is on red, and he's in the back of the pack this time as he's coming around here between side by side of and he's going to come off in the camel hump. Now side by side there coming into the first corner here, though. Let's show up with this. Brad Hudson and Randy Frost King Kirtley there battling there. And we see Randy kind of stretching his legs. Now we're going to fall back to our leader here, Drew Bonesauce Hoagland, now in the first, second, now third corner. and he's going to try to reel these guys in. Now, they are about 2 to 3 car lengths. We get a car coming off in the first corner here. That's going to be Brad Hudson there on white, giving Drew Hoagland a chance. Just one corner separating these two. But Brad's C8 Rothman's Corvette has really been hauling the mail here. And we see him coming off yet again right there. A little bit of issues there with that car. Like I said, very fast, able to turn those fast lap times. But if we can't keep it in the track, it doesn't do us much good. Now he is one corner down from Drew Bonesauce Hoagland coming around to the front stretch here. First corner, second corner for Drew, our leader, now third into the camel hump. Drew Hoagland trying to keep Randy Kirtley at bay as they're both pretty close on the same lap, about a half a lap difference between the two. We see Brad Hudson coming off on the front stretch here in a button press as he was in the red zone. Randy Kirtley there to the third to last corner as he's rolling about. And Drew Hoagland now at the third to last corner. So about a half a lap difference between these two. And Randy's pushing the subject to try to make it a closer race between the two. And I'll tell you guys, neither one of these racers is out of the ballpark. It could go either way. I know that we've seen Drew hanging on to it this far in the race, but it is round robin 6 of 8. We still got a lot of racing left to go. And Drew is on the tougher red lane currently right now as he goes into the first corner here. And right now, Randy Kirtley is making impressive lap changes here with an 8.710. Drew Hoagland's car coming off. This is going to give Randy Kirtley a chance to catch him. He's now half of a corner between him and Randy. Randy there in the orange car, Drew Bonesauce Hoagland there in the red as we get a rotation. And boys, it's heating up here towards the end. Both of these guys on the same lap. Is Randy Frost King Kirtley going to get it, or is Drew Bonesauce Hoagland going to get it? I don't know. I don't want to make a guess just yet because 7 of 8. 2 more heats left to go. These guys are tied up. You guys have made the guesses in the comment section. Sam, he's going for the Frost King. Let's check out some other guys and gals and what they're choosing. But great guesses, to say the least. One of you guys is going to go away with an NSR car if you send us your address. We'll get that shipped out to you free of charge. Jimmy Johnson, Frost King Kirtley. Brad Lynn Hudson is going to go for Drew Bonesauce Hoagland. Sean Ticka McCutcheon is going to go with Drew Bonesauce Hoagland. Mason Travis is going with Drew Bonesauce Hoagland. Stephen Page is going Randy Frost King Kirtley, and Megan Mizell, Randy Frost King Kirtley. So we got almost a split right down the middle between these two, and man, are they making it a good race. 75 total laps. Randy Kirtley was on fire that time, getting his medians down into the 8.8s, really putting the pressure on to Drew Hoagland with his 9.2. 0.4 of a second per lap. That's big time, guys. Drew cannot give that in anymore. He's going to have to stay on point here as he's moving to green. He's going to have to not only push that car, but he is going to have to stay in front of Randy Frost King Kirtley because Drew Hoagland's under the bridge. Randy's in the camel hump. We're talking less than a corner between these two. We are in round robin 7 of 8, and we got this one and one more, and we're going to declare a winner here, and we're going to have several winners in the comment section, as you guys know, but one of them is going to bring home a car. And you know, the odds of getting it's like 1 in 4, pretty good right now. But if you guys want to be a part of this and you want to get involved, just go on over here to the chat and scroll all the way up to the top, and you'll see a link to become a subscriber on Facebook, and you can make a guess and get you a car. It's $1 a month. It ain't much. All right, we're back racing, guys. And here comes your leader. Oh, Drew Bonesauce Hoagland coming off. Randy Kirtley now going to take the lead. Randy Kirtley there in the lead. So we're going to follow him for the first time this race there on white lane. Drew Hoagland now moved back about a half of a lap. This is uncalled for Drew. Usually we see him smooth all the way to the end here. And we're seeing him come off in the same spot again. Now put almost a full lap down from Randy Frost King Kirtley. Drew's going to have to focus in and keep that Constitution low. His heart's pounding. He wants to push. He needs to just let her be free. Lower the pulse, I guess you would say. Danny Saunders says, go Randy. Now Randy Frost King Kirtley there side by side with Drew Bonesauce Hoagland. Drew Bonesauce Hoagland there in the silver and blue. A little bit of body contact between the two. And we're going to see Drew lead out the way and swap back with Randy Frost King Kirtley. Frost King Kirtley, your leader, coming off the track, giving Drew Bonesauce Hoagland about a 3-corner lead on Randy Frost King Kirtley. Randy Frost King Kirtley pushing the subject a little too hard there, side by side with Drew Bonesauce Hoagland. As you guys know, running the Mercedes, they tend to have a little bit of slop on the side to side, and the C8's a little bit tighter, a little bit more push in the corners. We can see, I believe that might have been Drew coming off yet again. Nope, that wasn't Drew. That was Brad Hudson. We see one of our track marshals slip and fall there. All right, Randy Frost King Kirtley coming off the lead on here, still hanging on to that lead. Drew dropping down a full lap here. 5 seconds remaining. And I lost Randy Frost King Kirtley there. Where is he? Okay, I guess he's coming off the third corner there. And Drew there. 1 lap separating them. Man, how the tides have turned here, folks. Let's head over to the right display here real quick. Randy Frost King Kirtley was able to gain a lap on Drew there. Drew had 2 detrimental wrecks there coming into the snake pit, and it was hard getting them put back in. So we see Randy Frost King Kirtley now taking the lead for the first time this race as we go into round segment 8 of 8. 1 lap separating these two. Like I said, it's anybody's ball game here. Drew was up a lap in the previous heat, tied it up. Now he's down a lap. He can come back, though. We've seen it before. We might see it again. Randy running an impressive 8.948 fast lap. Median lap of 9.144. And we see Drew Hoagland there with a 9.057, very, very close, within 50 hundredths of a second, fastest lap, and a median of a 9.345. It's between these two. We see Brad Hudson there turning impressive times all race long, just having some issues with his car coming off, wrecking and everything else. You guys know the deal, and having some bad tire issues, at least in 1 or 2 of the heats where he blew the tire off of the rim. But he has predominantly tonight been putting up the most fast 8-second fast lap times. So all 3 of these guys are great in their own right, and we're going to see either Randy Frost King Kirtley or Drew Bonesauce Hoagland take it home this heat, and this heat only. Graham Sinclair says, great racing, guys, watching from Brisbane, Australia, upside down. Yeah, on the other end of the globe, folks. It is almost 9 o'clock here, and man, time has flown since these guys started this race. It feels like we just started this race just not even 5 or 10 minutes ago, but what an exciting race. Randy and Drew both battling it out side by side. Randy Kirtley is currently your leader right now. And as we can see, he is on red lane, and we're going to be following him. And here he comes around the track here. This is the tight portion. Not necessarily a good thing for Drew, but not necessarily a bad thing. Randy Kirtley knows how to drive a red lane. Every track I've ever seen him on, he's like Glenn on black lane. Randy Kirtley loves a red lane. We see Drew Hoagland having a wreck there. Not a good sign for Drew. He can't be making those wrecks anymore. He's got to be making time up and keeping that car smooth. Keeping the car smooth is the only way he's going to be able to catch Randy Frost King Kirtley. And wrecking is not going to do it. And I believe he just came off yet again right there. So a little bit of a falling apart here towards the end as Randy has smoothed his car out and gotten a lot smoother. We're seeing another wreck here, and that time it was Brad Hudson. So we're seeing Randy make moves here. A little bit of chatter on one of the cars out there. Kind of sounded like Randy Kirtley's car. And Randy Kirtley's car coming off in the second corner here. He's getting put back on. That is a chance for Drew Hoagland to make up that lap that is needed. We'll see if he can do it. Randy Frost King Kirtley, he's really putting in the work with 50 seconds remaining. Will Team Randy win, or will Team Bonesauce Drew Hoagland win? That is the question we all want to know, and it's fixing to get answered in the next 40 seconds here. So we see a car coming off there and getting put back on. That's Brad Hudson coming off there in turn 1. Drew Hoagland with a slide out there in the camel hump. Or Brad Hudson, sorry. We get a yellow flag here. That's going to help Drew out for sure. Drew almost a full lap down right now. He really needs a wreck here to take place, and a big one at that. But it looks like Randy Frosky and Kirtley is going to come back right there at the end and bring it home, folks. Randy Frosky and Kirtley on the lead on coming off. Now, of course, he's in the red zone. He's able to hit that button, and he does so as he's going to cross the start-finish line to make his 99th lap. 18 seconds left, and it looks like we're going to see Randy Frosky and Kirtley bring it home, folks. So all of those racers that voted for Randy Frosky and Kirtley in our subscriber base, stick by, because we're going to be doing a randomizer here. All right, Randy Frost King Kirtley, Drew Bone Sauce Hoagland, Brad Hudson. All right, guys, stick around. Stick around. I got to make this happen here in just a second. Well, let me get a Google randomizer here. Google, there we go. Random number generator, perfect. Number picker, random number. All right, here we go. So, well, I got to make it, honey. You got to give me a second. So Sam is one. All right, let me see here. Let me get all this organized here real quick. Sam's going to be number one. All right, I'll show you this list I'm writing down. I wish I had a pen. Jimmy Johnson, you're going to be number two. Stephen Page, you are going to be number three. And Megan Mizell, you're going to be number four. And guys, like I said, if you want to be a part of these monthly giveaways, all you got to do is go over here. Let me show you that real quick. Go over here at the very first comment. You'll see Lanes Raceway comment here. It says, become a member of Lanes Raceway today for exclusive benefits, even including member discounts, which we have those here for different things, exclusive live videos, which I do special videos for our subscribers, and badges that only members will have. So you just click this little link here, fill it out. It's $1 a month. Just do it. Forget about it. You're helping Lanes Raceway out. You're helping slot car racing. You're helping keep a hobby up and rolling. Sam Smith, heck yeah, he's excited. He's ready for the number generator. So let me put that in. We're going to do a minimum of number one and a maximum of 4. Okay? And then I'm going to tell you guys the numbers again. Okay, so there's our 4 right there. Actually, let's see if I can do this right display style so that you guys can see this a little bit bigger. Okay, so we got 1 through 4. You guys see it here. I'm going to spin it here in just a second. But Sam, actually, let me show you here. So we got some proof here. Go to me. There we go. So I know this is in highlighter, but we got Sam, number 1. Sam is going for the Frost King. Jimmy Johnson there, number 2. I think it says Stephen P there, number 3, and Megan Mizell, number 4. Okay, so here we go, guys. Moment of truth. Let me hit back to the right display. Clicking it. Who's going to get an NSR car? And then I'm going to go grab the car and let you see what it looks like. So, Jimmy J, you're going to get it. Okay, let me highlight that because we need a backup, because I'm going to need your address by tomorrow. Okay, if you don't get it, let's see who else is going to get it. Okay, so we'll click done here, remove the choice. Oh, I need to come over here and do it. There we go. All right, and this will be our backup. And then if our backup doesn't show, then we'll save it till next month. And it's going to be close. Going to be Stephen P. Stephen P is going to be our backup, okay? So Megan and Sam, maybe next time. And thank you guys for being members for sure. Thank you guys for definitely tuning in to the live stream. And like I said, I'm fixing to go over there right now and grab the NSR car that they're going to win. So definitely, guys, check out our subscriber program. And give me just 1 second. Jimmy J. Yeah. So I'll make a post on that. But I'm going to show them what they got. All right, Jimmy. Hang on 1 second here. Jimmy Johnson, thank you for subscribing. And this is what you're going to be getting. It is a McLaren white shiny NSR car, 720 test car. It says 720S, and we'll be shipping that to you. I'll get up with you in the comment section. Now, Stephen P., I'm also going to get up with you in the comment section too, and both of you guys PM me your address. If Jimmy PMs it, we'll get it shipped out to him. If he doesn't get back with me within the day, then we will PM Stephen and get it to him. Either way, guys, it's going to be great. Sam Smith says, congratulations. Thank you, Sam, for that. I know that Jimmy's probably super pumped. I know Steven's pretty pumped for sure, too. But nonetheless, guys, we're going to be having these little giveaways, like I said, once a month, maybe bi-monthly if we can get more members. So let everybody know about our member plan. Not everybody knows about it. It's $1 a month, guys. $1 a month. You get to watch cool races where you're rooting for a racer to get you a prize like this. Who's doing that? It's just a great time. So definitely check that out, guys. And it keeps you rooting for racing. Makes you want to watch races like I watch. You know, I'm always putting it online. Nonetheless, guys, we'll have some more tips and trick videos for you. Bear with us when it comes to the internet and getting our shop and stuff up and running as we're redoing a whole system here. Thank you guys for being patient with us and everything else. God bless you guys. And this is Donovan, and I will see you guys on the next one.